We are we? I'm live, apparently. Supposedly. I like to hear if it's working. Sorry. It's a one-man show. It needs operating. Oh, there we are. Okay. Hello. Welcome to Movie Crap Live. Hello to one and all. First, I want to give a special shout out to Stars and Dust 242449. Oh, we're doing the numbers thing. I guess that's YouTube. Anyway, Stars and Dust, thank you. I hear you're new to Movie Crap, and thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Also, hello to Austin, Nathaniel Fogus, Sinram, K-Master, William Elman, Cornbread, Zane Powers is probably here, Javier Portello, I think I said K-Master, Classic Cameron, Purple Goop, what is up? Ninja. Who's Ninja? Is Ninja here? Was there something else playing or something? Anyway, what is up, Alan? What? I'm so lost. Okay. Who all was here before? Cornbread, Zane Powers, William Allen, Purple Goop, Nathaniel for Cornbread, starting to I think I got everyone. Hello, and that's Buster back there. I think I set out both things. I hope. Anyway, hello. You can probably hear Buster. Anyway, we might have to get him later. But hello and welcome to Movie Crap Live, my weekly, I say entertainment news, because I noticed I used to say, oh, hello, Reiki. Hello, Ryan Walterson. Wow, Ryan Walterson is cursing. You know this shit is real. Jared Salaplo and Blood High Chris Stockman. Medela Butterfly, hello. And, oh, did I keep saying corn? See, it's hard to like, anyway. Hello and welcome to Movie Crap Live. We're hot in the kitchen here, talking about entertainment news and such. It was a Smiling Friends reference. Was he in Smiling Friends? Wait, who is the Smiling Friends? Oh, Alan. Sorry. Yes, hello and welcome to the show. I hope you all have had a good week. We're here to talk about all the I used to say movies and animation, but I'm like, I think I should just say entertainment because it's like it is mostly just movies and cartoons, though. But you know, it's better to have the catch-all, so I can have some some wiggle room there. Yes. Oh, hello, Super Kirby Dude. Yes, it's been a week as it always is. Sorry, I did not send out the. I usually send out a tweet or skeet or whatever that is about the energy drink, and I did not get to do that. So, but Austin guessed it in the chat. He guessed, but you can find out what kind. But I'll give it to Austin because he did actually guess it, I guess. Entertainment Tonight was already taken. You're right. If you watch that now, man, the editing and the flow of that is crazy. I think I've mentioned this before, but I've long wanted, if someone else wants to do it, yeah, video games gonna happen one of these days. If you watch it, the editing's so crazy, but yeah, I've long wanted to do a different Entertainment Tonight from every decade and compare and contrast how entertainment journalism has changed throughout the time of that show's been on since I think it's the late 70s. But I no, hey, it's cool. I only really have energy drinks here, and sometimes I'll get a Red Bull if I'm like going to the grocery store and I know I need the extra energy, but that's about it. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yes, stuff I did. Let's see, stuff I did. The few small talk things before we get in the show. One is I did see I Know What You Did Last Summer because it was on Netflix and or the new one, and I put it on because I thought, you know what, I need a movie I can watch, but I'm okay with falling asleep during. And I fell asleep, and I woke up at the end, but I knew who the villain is, and all that. Although I missed the cameo of the other person, who I think I saw it online. Anyway, it was fine. The blonde girl in it, I think, was actually the best person in the movie, but it was not. I don't know. I think it really hit me when the movie was coming out. It was like, wait, all these movies are these people who like are guilty of criminal negligence. Like it's not the same. Like I don't know. It's like Worley. I think I'm okay with these people getting stabbed. They're all like, we're just not going to tell them that this car drove off. But it's really not. It's really I don't know. I mean, it's only the one guy's fault, but it wasn't very good. And then I did get to woke up towards the end, and then I watched the credits where I guess this is a spoiler. In the credits, Brandy shows up because she was in the sequel, and Jennifer Love Hewitt finds her and stuff like that. But I was also like, look, I was 13 when that movie came out, and I'm not going to be gross or nothing, but the reason kids my age or guys my age saw that movie, they weren't doing that in this movie. Not that I wanted them to. You know what? I'm going to change this topic anyway. Sorry. Oh, I did like people seem to like the Chainsaw Man short I did. I kind of did that to kind of I had wanted to do that short. It was kind of it does look like a thing I did very quickly. That was I always planned on it, but I had been planning on like what to say and stuff to be like, hey, there's this cool show and stuff. I would like to do season one because that seemed to go over well. And the movie, I am actually into it. It's not a thing or something. Uh, thanks, Apex. But yeah, it seemed to go over well, and that was fun. But it was actually something I was planning on doing, and I kept like, maybe I won't, maybe I will, and I was like, actually, I think I'm going to do it. So I don't know, happy about that. Okay, this is my other thing. Hey, hey, Alex, how's it going? I find this so bizarre, but like everyone's upset about the White House demolishing the East Wing. I guess I did not know until now that people gave a shit about this stuff. Like I remember, oh man, it's so weird that ads play during the thing now. Whatever. That I just don't understand why people are so into like or like oh this is sacrilege. I was like I don't know. I know the White House's movie theater was part of that and was actually destroyed. To be clear, so I guess this is sort of entertainment news. But I just find so like anytime in the 2000s when like Paris Hilton or Britney Spears would be all over the news, and people will be like, we should talk about the real issues and not be distracted. I feel like the White House thing is Paris Hilton, Britney Spears, and like there are actual things going on and like talking. I just find it so bizarre. I don't know. I don't really care about the White House. I don't. It's like not a symbol that I'm not very patriotic, but I just find it. I just don't get it. I don't know. The movie theater part I always thought looked cool, so I'm disappointed in that. I never went there or anything. If you saw the picture of Obama with the 3D glasses, that's from the fake Zuckerberg. With the 3D glasses movie theater, that was where that was. But supposedly they're gonna make a new one, so whatever. But I just find it like very bizarre. I was like, I see so many people who I never thought would care, but it's just like very I don't know. I also like we all liked Independence Day, and thought the big thing was the White House blew up, and now all the millennials are like, no, the sacrilege. I'm like, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Like that's bullshit. Like just if you cheered on, I feel like if you cheered on the White House exploding in Independence Day, you're not allowed to post that you're upset. And I know who it is, but I just find it weird. Um, uh, what last thing, oh well, okay, before I do mike one thing I don't know I was thinking about this because I ripped the Harry Potter movies and they're on a Plex because I don't want to support Miss JK, but I've kind of noticed that I wouldn't mind doing reviews of some of those movies because I have a lot of nostalgia for them. I don't know, I think if I ever do it would be when the channel's big enough to basically give all that money to charity or something like that. But like I don't know. It's a very but man, Harry Potter 3 is really good. It's like it's like really interesting movie. It's like if there's any movie of the 2000s that I really need to do a review of that I was like obsessed with was be that one. And I don't know. It's unfortunate I didn't do it before. Um all that. But that is like one. I think that's like a thing of sequels that change the course of a franchise and become like the thing they all try to emulate. And the only three actually this is actually an interesting question. Um what sequels are like that? And the three I can think of are Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban, Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, and Goldfinger. But I can't think of I don't know if you guys know of any sequels that like after that sequel they all had to be like that sequel. But those are the three that like completely changed because after the third Harry Potter they all had to look like the Quran movie, Alfonso Cuarón. Um, And after Wrath of Khan, they all had to try to emulate. I mean, they did 3 movies basically because of the events of the Wrath of Khan, and they all were compared to Wrath of Khan. And Goldfinger, they used the script of that for every Bond movie after. So I'm curious if there's, I don't know if there's a Godzilla movie like that or if there's another franchise like that. But it is kind of interesting sometimes when a sequel takes over. But I did like that movie a lot, but now it's like, I don't really want to discuss Miss Rowling presently. But anyway, I'll just talk about the videos and throwy backs. I don't actually know what the throwback is tomorrow. I forgot to look. Anyway, the throwbacks recently were Mallrats and Bridge of Spies. Bridge of Spies is actually one of my favorite Spielberg's. Yeah, Gary Oldman is good in that. It's a good movie. Just fucking J.K. Rowling. The arc I've had with Harry Potter, I will say, it was like when I first got in, it was like all the dorky kids at my learning disability school who like were very quiet were super into it, and I learned about it. I thought it was really interesting, and then and then um it like I don't know, it like, you know, and then when I saw the first movie, no one my age wanted to see it, and then everybody liked it, and then, you know, it was like this huge thing obviously, and then the JK thing, it's like fallen off. Like Fantastic Beasts knocked it over for me. It's just, it's so weird. What a shit person. Jesus. Anyway, just seeing the arc of it throughout my life is very interesting because I've never seen a thing go through public pressure so quickly. You know what I mean? Um, but it sucks because that's a good movie. It's fucking transphobic asshole. Jesus. Anyway, sorry. Yes, I did. Bridge of Spies, which is one of my favorite Spielberg movies of the. I'd say of the past 2010s. I'd say probably since Catch Me If You Can. I'd put it up there, as well as Mallrats with its 20th anniversary. I'm sorry, I forget what it's gonna be. I hope you like the Gabby's Dollhouse video, as well as the Chainsaw Man and whatever else there was. Oh, the Treehouse of Horror. I will have stuff coming, Trinaries and Treehouse of Horror, the new Treehouse of Horror and stuff like that. The segment tonight, which is Garfield, I think actually, this isn't a joke, might not come out this Halloween, so it'll probably wait till next October, possibly. So I want to say that is a possibility. We're still going to do the segment. I don't think I'm going to do a spooky one next week, but I might. I think I know actually what I was going to do. But yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. My origin with it is very different. So, but I would say the only one that's like, whoa, holy shit, you directed the crap out of that is the third one. It's just like, man, Quran. Although it's not a great adaptation of the book, which is interesting. Anyway, yeah, I think there'll be a lot of videos coming out before Halloween that I'm excited for you guys to watch. But let's get into it. Oh, okay. So Cornbread is doing this thing. I'm just gonna tell everyone. You're not Cornbread. Cineram is doing this thing tonight where he is literally, I'm not even joking, he is using a stopwatch and trying to do the timestamps during the show, which is a very interesting idea. I'm just curious to do it. Cineram, all this part before this is usually called small talk. So between the beginning of the show to Patreon, Discord, this is all small talk. You don't need it, just to help him out. But I'll try to give him some indicators during it. I'm curious. Cineram, please tell us how it goes. But yeah, I get if people aren't into Harry Potter. I don't think it's like a perfect franchise. I think that is some cool movies and interesting franchise wise. But uh, yeah, it's not like a perfect. I don't know. The only one I'm like actually serious. I think the third one is very good. In 2004, man, that was such a good blockbuster. You got the third Harry Potter. You got Spider-Man 2. You got Incredibles. What was going on? Hollywood was blowing up. Anyway, all right, let's just get into it. All right, this and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through my page, either through super chats, which no one's done yet, so I cannot reveal what the energy drink is fully yet. It is a Celsius, but I will not tell you which kind of Celsius until we get the first super chat. If we get up to $20, I will do the lights being all flashy, which actually I lost this remote until tonight. So, which is awesome. I was like, I learned how to do the flashy thing from the little thing here, so I could do it, but I was disappointed because I liked the remote and I found it. Also, Shrek 2, you're right. What was I going to say? Sorry. Yes, either through a super chat during the show where I will drink my energy drink, which will get me more energy to keep going, and keep talking and all that stuff, and help support me and all that stuff, as well as my Patreon, which has all sorts of exclusive perks like postcards, which are going to be mailed out this next week because I'm going to go get um, stamps tomorrow, and you get part of my commentary series. You get more power in the movie review vote. You get updates on my stuff. You get access to my what was it or yeah, you get access to my public access show. You get all sorts of cool stuff like that, exclusive to there, and also helps me to continue to do what I do. I'm actually going to get one of those like TikToky mics for a project I'm working on. That's all I'll say there. I might even use it for here if it works, but good enough. We'll see. But anyway, SpongeBob movie had a good soundtrack. Austin, you're right. Have I talked about how I feel about that? I like that soundtrack. I like it. I usually cut out the Avril Lavigne song. I didn't like that part. Anyway, this is it. I'm excited for this because it's a silly one. It's Celsius. It's Playa vibe because I'm not a player. I just play a lot. Sorry, somebody got that right. All right. Cheers to you, Austin. This is supposed to be like a pina colada one. I will continue to make big pun jokes every time if that people want that. I don't know if you guys care. Anyway, cheers to you, Austin. I do not. I won't, no, this is okay. I've never. I when people are like, I don't want to get into the Avril Lavigne stuff. People, I've noticed people now will be like, no, she wasn't. She never said she was really punk thing. I remember like it was so obnoxious in one interview she would say, and then like you'd watch her on another show the next day and go, no, I never said that. And I was like, God damn it! And it was really hard listening to like hardcore like grind punk in senior in high school, and then seeing Avril Lavigne be, punk rock to the popular kids in high school was like, it's like Jesus. Anyway, um, yes, your support, if you're financially able to, is very much appreciated. It helps me continue to do the show, continue to do everything. It is very helpful, as well as but if you're sorry, this is like I'm messing this up. I'm sorry. Um, um, but if you're not financially able to, just liking or subscribing does help me and help shows the algorithm and all that stuff that you like this stuff. But if you don't do any of that and you're just watching, or you found a flyer that I put up some flyers, um, I put up some flyers. So if you just are just watching this randomly, thank you for being here. If you're only watching this once and then you're like, fuck this guy, this sucks. Thank you for your review. I still appreciate it. And thank you very much for watching. Um, and also we have the Discord. Sorry, that was a messy ass second. The Discord, which has all sorts of cool things like they do. If you like this community here in the chat, which is this is a great community. I'm not joking about that. I still get compliments on this community. People are like, man, your chat's very nice. I'm like, fuck yeah, it is. If you like this community, there's a Discord. You can go hang out. They do daily questions, which sometimes I do them, other people do them. They're doing Dracula Dead and loving it. They're doing movie watch this Saturday. They do movie watches. They do all sorts of cool, nice interactive stuff, which you can come and hang out and watch. There's the daily questions. There's movie news discussions. There's movie discussions. There's animation discussions. All sorts of stuff. There's a licensed playing card channel. I still got the Scooby-Doo cards going. And all sorts of stuff like that. So it's a really wonderful thing. It's run by Austin, Zane Powers, Cornbread, and Ryan Walterson, and they do a wonderful job doing it. Okay. All right. Oh, it's the 30th anniversary? Cool. All right. But yeah, anyway, if anyone wants to do super chat, sorry I have to say that sometimes. It would be appreciated, and if we get to the 20 thing, then I'll do the flashy lights. And everyone please click thumbs up. Thank you, Cinderama. How's it going, by the way? All right, this first one is going to be called this Ben Solo and Star Wars news. All right, this was kind of a shocking thing, and I think it's emblematic. This is the first story here of what's going on with Star Wars, and I'm not a Star Wars news person or complaining about Star Wars, but this is like holy shit. Adam Driver revealed with an article for the AP. I guess is he in something? I was a little confused about that. But that for 2 years he was developing a story. I post that in Goosebumps. I posted as a throwback last week or something. Anyway, Adam Driver revealed last week that Adam Driver revealed this week that for 2 years he was developing the Search for Ben Solo movie, which was going to be directed by Steven Soderbergh, as well as written by Scott Z. Burns. It was going to show more of the character of Kylo Ren or Ben Solo or whatever. And Kathleen Kennedy had asked him, Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy had asked Adam Driver if he wanted to come back and do another Star Wars to develop something. They had developing it. But then Bob Iger got the pitch while they're developing it and said, it doesn't make sense to me. I thought Ben Solo or Kylo Ren was dead in Rise of Skywalker, because everybody really wants to hold the sanctity of the worst Star Wars movie ever, which Bob Iger apparently does, and it was shut down and it didn't happen. Some people are acting like, he's sorry. Well, why would you interview him now? Whatever. I mean, that makes sense. Cornbread. He's in Father, Mother, Sister, Brother. But what's up, Sophie? You're up kind of late.
I'm going to bed. I want to keep you up.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Good night. So, sleep time, okay? So you want to say hi?
Hi, everybody.
Oh, that's the camera.
Oh. Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Have a cool nap, people.
Okay, you need to get to bed. All right. Good night, Soph. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
All right. Yes, he's in the new Jim Jarmusch movie. Anyway, he's that kind of guy. He's a very good auteur guy. You didn't expect that that cameo. I didn't expect that cameo. Anyway, it's always nice to see Soph. Yeah, so basically they had this idea, they were developing this idea to do it. It kind of I'm gonna say I don't know. It kind of sucks to me that like this sounds like an awesome idea. But it's also like, you have a problem with people coming back from the dead, but the Emperor did it in the movie that you're saying this guy died in. And I don't understand, like, I don't know. It's also Steven Soderbergh, like, you know, I think he would do a good kind of spy intrigue thing, which we saw him do this year with Black Bag. Supposedly, actually, people were noticing the times he watched in his, like, movie log thing he puts that he, in 2024, had watched a lot of Star Wars movies. So I think this is pretty... this sucks, to be honest with you. And also, you know, Darth Maul, which K Master brought up, has come back as well. But it's like, I don't know, you have like all these cool people. My only thing is that, like, we don't know how much this costs. We don't actually really know the story so much. As much as I love Soderbergh, well, I'm going to say, even though Presence, not my favorite movie of his or anything, was at least interesting. And I'm like, yeah, at least it would, I think, Soderbergh, I can't think of a bad Steven Soderbergh movie. And I actually think, I'm going to say, I think Kylo Ren was the best character. Not the character I would like want to hang out with, but I thought he was the most interesting character of the sequel trilogy, basically. So I was kind of, I don't know, I was disappointed to learn that. But a lot of people are saying maybe this outcry will make them rethink it. It's also like, so you put Star Wars on hold for all this time, and like you had stuff like a Steven Soderbergh Star Wars movie. Like, what is going on over there? I really do think oh yeah, Kimmy was really good too. Man, yeah, he really could have done it. I don't know, it feels like Bob Iger, I think the 2010s were kind to him, but it's kind of showing the fault in his management skills, because he's really not good at coming up with new things. And I'm really starting to, I think Disney, this is, it's not the story problems necessarily that you think it's the story problems that, or it's the management problems that were always problems. It's just like we're really seeing like the long-term effects, because he's not really innovating. He's not making new kinds of movies, not bringing in interesting directors and stuff like that. And the other one that also came out was that David Fincher was also approached to do post sequel movies, and Lucasfilm wouldn't give him. Hey Georgians would not give him Final Cut, and so he said no. Now this is actually more interesting if you don't know the history of David Fincher with Lucasfilm. David Fincher got his start with Lucasfilm. Actually, he grew up in the same neighborhood, I think, as either Lucas or Lucas's dad, and his dad put in a good word for him and got him a job at Return of the Jedi. And I think he worked on Twice Upon a Time as well, if I'm correct on that. So it kind of sucks that like you had literally, if I was going to list off two really good directors who people would want to, who make good movies, I would say both of them. Like if they were gonna, if you were like, I don't know. It's also crazy to think like you're not giving, Star Wars used to be auteur driven franchise, and now that's run by a studio, nobody gets Final Cut. And David Fincher, like, he has a history with the Star Wars, like more so, I think like it, I don't know. It like to me, like I know they tried to get him to do the sequel trilogy, but I don't know. I think it's just ridiculous. Like, how did you not do, how do you turn down David Fincher and Steven Soderbergh and just go, I will just do Mandalorian Grogu, and then, maybe the Rey movie, which is now on hold. It's like, really, I think Bob Iger, Disney is not in a good place right now. And it's just like, the more news we're hearing, the more it's like, you really need to innovate and bring fresh people in and not have like yes men directing. And look at Tron Ares, look at, the Marvel slate this year, look at Elio. It's just like, it's really bad. And this is not news that makes me think that they know what's going on. It's just really fucking a pathetic studio at this point. Like, it's so weird. Like, when I started this streaming show in like 2019 or something, there was such a gigantic studio and they've fallen off so hard. This year is really rough for them, but I honestly think they deserve it. Even though they're going to have Zootopia 2 and Avatar 3 and everyone will, yeah. Which wing of the, what I thought about that, Sarah? Which wing of the White House was demolished by the Red Hulk in February? I'm actually not sure. I'm curious. He did. A couple people were saying he's doing the work Bin Laden would have done because of 9/11, but I think the other plane was for the Capitol. But I don't know. Anyway. All right, this is the end of the Star Wars thing. I'm helping you out a little, Syndrome. Let me know how it's going. I'm curious if it's going okay. All right, I have a question. This is kind of a side thing. If Syndrome, if you don't want to timestamp this one, it's okay. You can wait for the next one. So I'm going to admit something. I usually watch subtitle things because, as you know, I do lip sync for animation when I do animation, and I can actually tell if the lips aren't matching up. A lot of people are like, well, it's dubbed anyway. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, but it's different. And I can tell. But because I usually get to watch shows like at work, like while I'm on my lunch break and stuff, and like the screen, I'm watching on my phone, all this stuff. I was like, I'll just do dubbed. So I'm kind of noticing I might have to see the movie subbed. So I'm actually one episode away from finishing season 1. So I might have to watch a few subbed because there's a huge potential that I will have to watch this movie subbed. And now, like, but I'm too used to the voice actors now, so it's like it's a real confusion. I don't know. Is the dubbed voice is it good dubbed? I don't actually know. But yeah, I was like, oh man, I kind of fucked up there. But we'll see. It's gonna be interesting watching a dub. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do it this weekend. To be honest, I'm gonna have to watch some. I think I'll watch the one I need to watch to finish season 1. But okay, cool, Syndrome. But then I'll continue from there. But it's I don't know. I was like, oh fuck, I fucked up. Of course, like the one time I'm watching anime dubbed, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go watch the movie. I'm like, oh, showtimes. Ooh. So, William Ellman. I saw the new Luca Guadagnino movie, and it may have the worst epilogue I've seen in a film, and the film sets looking like Yale. Wait, let me read that again. I don't think I read that right. I saw the new Luca Guadagnino movie, and it may have the worst epilogue I've seen in a film, and the film sets look nothing like Yale. I actually heard it was very bad, which I was disappointed by because it seemed like a cool... it seemed like a cool premise, but I noticed like its Oscar chances I think went away faster than the Smashing Machine. Cheers to you, Will. element. Thank you very much. Because Smash Machine I still heard about, but after the hunt, like, because I remember on Sunday I was like, wait, did that come out wide? Like, I haven't heard much about it. And then I saw the box office. I was going to talk about it in the box office part later on, but yeah, it's really interesting. Oscar season. The one part that is interesting is like what rises and falls, and you never know. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I don't know if when I'll see it. I would like to see Roofman, but I think I'm going to end up seeing it on like Paramount Plus or something. Anyway, cheers to you, Waldron. I appreciate it, man. I like the play of it. I want to get the retro one, and I never get it. I need to just buy it. If I ever see it, I'm going to get it. But anyway, after the hunt, that's what he's talking about. But that's interesting. All right. We're going to talk about a few Netflix things. So I'm helping Sidram out. I feel bad for him because this is like, I feel stressed for him, even though I think he's fine. This is the Netflix segment starting right now. All right. So there's a bunch of Netflix things and K-pop Demon Hunters, but this is all Netflix until I say it's not. Let's be clear on that. So Netflix is talking to theaters. I think we talked about this a little bit. They've talked in AMC and worked a thing out. The big thing is the thing that's happening first is K-pop Demon Slayer is playing over Halloween weekend. I think that'll work out because a lot of kids are going dressed up on Halloween as the K-pop Demon Slayers. So I think possibly like because Halloween is on a Friday, on Saturday, hey, you got the costume still. You can go on Saturday. I think it actually could work out for them. As well as they're going to play Stranger Things on December 31st, the big finale, and January 1st. Something that the Duffer Brothers were very much pushing for. And I'm sure Netflix does not, I guess the Duffer Brothers signed that Paramount thing and stuff, does not want to totally ruin their relationship with the Duffer Brothers. So I'm curious how much that had to play with it. There are some speculations about that. Sorry. Okay, I'll leave it alone, Saram. I have faith in you. Sorry. K-pop Demon Slayers. K-pop Demon. Wait, is it Demon? Oh, K-pop Demon Hunters. Why did I say it that way? I don't understand. Sorry, long night. It's always a long day. All right. But they are trying to work something out. The one criticism they've gotten is they are not doing hello Atomic Brit. They're not doing actual wide releases. They're not really releasing something. They're doing these event things, and it's sort of like a crazy. It's like not really like, oh, we're dealing with theaters and we're doing theater stuff. We're basically doing these event things, which sort of does not play like regular stuff. I do think like this sort of thing with event stuff, uh, uh, with this event stuff in theaters, like we get these bursts, but like, what do these movies theaters do on Thursday, or Tuesday or something like that? It's just like saying, the Taylor Swift thing and this, I don't know if it's like as good for theaters in the long run, than, actually giving these films wide releases, which I like a full release where it's like playing for a full week, not just like 3 days or something. Um, we'll see, but it is like a step in the right direction. Although, when we talk about Warner Brothers, it doesn't sound like Netflix is really going to change. This is a huge step for them, but it doesn't sound like we're getting more beyond this. The other thing, and this is maybe more of an industry thing, apparently Netflix is trying to get in the podcast game because Netflix has to do everything much like gaming. Not all the things work, but Netflix does try to put their fingers in as many pies as possible. And they do want to get into podcasts or big podcasts. I don't, I've learned because I mainly listen to like entertainment stuff or Song versus Song, the Todd in the Shadows thing, or you must remember this podcast like this. When I look at the charts of like, someone mentioned there's like a chart of like what are the top 100 podcasts, and I learned I don't listen. I listen to Mark Maron, but that's over now, so I don't listen to any of these big corporate podcast things. Like, and even the ones I have, I don't like all the like ads and all. It's like really horrible. Anyway, man, I wish an ad break could happen right now. That would have been pretty funny. Like Treehouse of Horror 6. But um, they are trying to do podcasts. They're trying to do video podcasts. I know for a fact that Call Her Daddy, I guess, that big podcast, she actually turned it down, and then sent them like a huge money offer so they would turn it down because she wasn't, which is I think is a smart move. I've heard other podcasts are going to do a few. I think it's a dumbass idea. Like just stay in your lane. I think the gaming thing I think could work if they promote it better. And I know people tried with that, but like I don't really see it. But the idea is basically like you'll watch a movie and then you'll see in the tabs like, oh, there's a podcast there. Uh um of related to the thing. But I think like podcasts and Netflix, to me it's like I think there's some viewers, but I just don't think you know, oh well. Also in other Netflixy things, these are I guess it's actually one is, but I'll talk about the other one. I don't know, whatever. K-pop Demon Hunters is it has signed a major deal with with Hasbro. They're trying to work on this big deal. Hasbro has actually done really well this year, like extremely well, to a point that is kind of insane. But they have signed a major thing with K-pop, and they're trying to do like a big ad push next year, I guess, which is kind of like a little too late. I mean, it's still like I think one of the biggest things in streaming still. But hey Mike, how's it going? It just I don't know. It seems a little too late, but I think it'll probably be like Frozen, where we waited too long, and then when the sequel comes out, I don't know. It'll still probably sell a lot of merch because people really like K-pop Demon Hunters, and I think it'll probably be a huge. I don't know. Probably next Christmas you'll still see a lot of the crap, but it's like kind of interesting that they finally signed a Hasbro deal. I can tell with the way my computer's acting. Maybe oh no, well I don't know. Anyway, and the last another thing is Netflix. There was a trailer. Fun Eddie Murphy doc. I like that he's in it. You get some of him at home. It looks like a fine kind of special thing. I don't think it's going to go too deep, but I'm going to watch it. I like Eddie Murphy. I haven't watched, I don't know if I want to watch Beverly Hills Cop 3 and 4. I keep thinking about it. Like maybe I should just skip over 3, but then, we'll see. Okay. So as for thumbnail rules, I guess I have to talk about this is Mitchell's vs. Machines 2. This was announced today, kind of late. Like when did Mitchell's vs. Machines come out? Like a while ago. It's kind of surprising. Because it was 2021. Jeez, but yeah, they finally committed to doing another one. Netflix will distribute it. The sequel, part of a license agreement with Sony. This is, I think, interesting. It was originally called Connected, and obviously, it didn't release as Connected. But this movie, I'm excited for another one. It did feel kind of final, so I'm a little like, as much as I'm like, oh okay, um, I do like the movie, and I'm sure they can do an interesting thing. I'm really curious what the concept is actually going to be. But I don't know. We'll see what we're gonna see about that. But oh okay, Ryan, you make a good point. We're at the height of AI and people slamming and praising AI, so it makes sense to make a sequel. That is a good point. I don't know. I haven't watched it in a few years, and it makes me want to rewatch it. Lord and Miller are also involved. I think also like when you think about the Lord and Miller and Sony Animation and stuff. I mean, their other big crown jewel that isn't Spider Verse was Mitchell's vs. Machines. I don't think I've talked about it in a while, so but it does feel like what took so long, or maybe they didn't really have a good concept and they didn't want to talk about it till then and all that stuff. Before I continue, sorry if you want to do any super chats, let me know. I'm sorry, I gotta say stuff. But well, what is okay? Sorry. Streaming settings are being weird today. Or streaming. Can we just okay? I noticed there was like movie crap, like things having a movie crap on the Discord. It was like, oh, I almost listed one, but I feel like I shouldn't list stuff. Original director. I think it's a different director. That's a good question, actually. I should have mentioned it. It's from the head of story and the co-director of Bad Guys 2 signing on, marking the head of story for the first Mitchell's Guillermo Martinez's directorial debut. No, it does not sound like it's the director of the original. Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's sort of a weird choice right now, though, isn't it? I'm curious. I don't know. I would like to know the concept and how they're going to do it. But it was, I remember being a good movie. Now I kind of want to rewatch it at some point. See, I don't know. I remember it was pretty good. I remember I put it high up there that year. Had I made a top 10 list. Anyway, in Miami Vice news, and this was actually surprising, Michael B. Jordan apparently is very close to signing on as Tubbs. The thing about this that surprised me, well, one, it does sound like very likely because they moved the schedule around to Universal to make name one Sony animation movie doesn't. I mean, K-pop Demon Slayers. Presently. Anyway, no, Michael B. Jordan. We had heard the rumor that they wanted Glenn Powell and Michael B. Jordan. It seems like they really, really wanted to make this movie with those two, and it sounds like maybe they will. Supposedly, Tony Gilroy did a pass at the script, and Michael B. Jordan really wanted to be involved. But it's sort of surprising because Tubbs is like the second banana, and like Michael B. Jordan just had a huge hit with Sinners and is directing the Thomas Crown Affair and could come back and do Creed 4. So it's like I think Tubbs is a little like, if we're going off of the original Miami Vice show, is sort of beneath him. So I'm a little curious what the script is if Michael B is involved. But supposedly the studio has moved all this stuff around to get him. So it sounds like it's kind of likely at this point. But I'd assume this is like, I thought it would be like he would be Crockett and somebody else would be Tubbs. But he is supposedly at this point Tubbs. It's apparently, maybe the script is, I mean, a Tony Gilroy, Joseph Kosinski, Miami Vice movie sounds pretty cool. So I don't know, but I am really curious about this now that he wants to play Tubbs. Is like something you wouldn't think of him, and I'm really curious who's going to play Crockett and like what the take is now is very curious to me. So as I've said before, I do watch the original couple episodes of Miami Vice. They're very good, but yeah, I know there was some concern because the movie that Michael Mann directed with Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell did have kind of problems of like who's the main leading it. But I like Michael B. Jordan a lot, and I think other than that Without Remorse movie and that movie he was in that Denzel directed, that I honestly don't think anyone here like if anyone watched it or even knows what I'm talking about. I didn't actually see it. I don't even know where it's streaming or anything. But like most of his movies, he does a good job picking them. Although directed by Denzel, I get that. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of interesting that it does sound like he's doing tough, especially if the studio moved a lot of stuff around to get him, and they have a Tony Gilroy script. Sounds like they're really spending to make a substantial Miami Vice movie, which could be really cool. Especially, I mean, Joseph Kosinski sort of is big enough that you want to do that for him at this point, having two huge hits. So, which makes John Aries look even worse. All right, let's talk about Warner Brothers open to sale, and there's a lot to talk about with this. Do you think? I think they could have cameos, but I don't think. I don't know. Can Crockett and Tubbs both be black? Sinram, that is a good point. From what we've read about casting, that does not seem to be the way they're going. However, maybe that could happen, but it's not from what we read before. No, but I actually thought it could be they would switch it or have Michael B. Crockett or something. But I don't know. We'll see. We don't know what the take is. So yeah. Before I got into Warner Brothers things, I've heard there's a thing with Jim Mallon from MST3K. I didn't get to read that article, so I'm not going to talk about it this week, but I will talk about it next week. So if you hear about that, I don't think this matters to anybody but me, but things about like what he's been doing all this time and his health and stuff like that, I will talk about that next week. I just want to, if you see that come out or circling, I just want to bring that. I think he's fine. I don't know. I didn't read the article. Anyway, Warner Brothers, I shouldn't have even brought it up. Warner's has said they are up for sale and looking for offers. Why they're doing this now is they are going to split up in the next year, because from the networks, the cable networks are going to take on all of that and everything. But as they are right now, everything together, they very much want to sell for something. The MST3K game? Okay, I don't know what that is. Let me know on Discord. But man, the Demon Slayers came out. Demon Slayers thing is really coming up a lot. I only sort of know Demon Slayers. I can know like when someone wears the green and black patchwork, I always call him Demon Slayer. I know a few people have quotes like that. But then his sister has the thing in her mouth and she's like a demon or something. I don't know. I watched a good part. I was into it, but I gave up. I should know. Anyway, Warner Brothers is up for sale. Warner Brothers is up for sale. They've said they're up for sale. Paramount has made 2 offers. They've been turned down twice. Apparently, it was a big enough of a offer they had to publicly acknowledge it, which I've said before they have to do. There are issues with Paramount, which I'll get into. There's a lot of people have considered, but one is the industry does not want one less studio. So Paramount buying Warner Brothers is something that will be bad for the film industry, particularly because many people are fearing what happened with Fox, because Fox is basically dead at this point. I mean, Fox is sort of around, but not to the point it was before. I'm actually not sure about releases, but almost everyone's like, it's just like the Disney is bigger, but it doesn't really, there's one less studio to pitch to. And that's everyone's kind of concern going on. So the other possibilities people are considering is the Saudi, the makers of the comedy festival everyone could possibly buy Warner Brothers, which is a possibility, as well as Apple or Facebook. I actually think Apple would probably make the most sense, since their streaming service has never really taken off. They don't have any legacy. They don't have anything other than Ted Lasso to get everyone, to have a lot of views from legacy views the way HBO Max does. It would honestly make a lot of sense for Apple. There's been talk of Facebook. But the problem is, Netflix, there's some interest, but Netflix has been we kind of just care about being Netflix. We don't care about the theater part. So it would also be a disaster because the studio that's been dominating the box office this year could just poof, and that's not good. But it would have to be a big company, because when you're buying Warner Brothers, you're taking on $37 billion of debt. So in my mind, Apple would actually be a good choice. Sorry, Meta. Sorry, Austin. But I don't want one less studio. I think that would be pretty terrible for the industry overall. If Paramount buys it and the Ellisons buy it, that would be tremendously bad. And there's kind of concern that possibly, someone might buy this, someone might buy this part, something like that, which has been brought up. Nothing has really happened so far, other than Paramount getting denied again and again. I'm really curious if them, I don't know, not wanting to deal with the Ellisons is confusing. So the Ellison family, the father who owns, is it Oculus or something? He owns a big company. He used his Trump connections to be able to own TikTok in America, which is shady as shit. And I don't actually like how much stuff the Ellisons own. It's really distressing. And then his son with Skydance, bought Paramount. And Paramount has really wanted to buy Warner Bros. Now, Paramount thing, a lot of people are hoping it's Universal, which has not really come up in terms of real offers. I think what I'm hoping it's Apple or Meta or somebody else, but having less Warner Brothers sounds like a big thing, but it does sound like they are very much having that the studio's doing so well, that James Gunn has his whole thing, that all this stuff, they very much want this. This is all the Demon Slayer thing, geez. But it is really scary what could happen with this Warner Brothers sale. And this was honestly Zaslav's goal, was to this is his main purpose of getting hired. But we'll see. I think with the debt, it really hurts. Would Comcast do it? Stuff like that. But I think, sorry. I think what we'll see with this is gonna be a really interesting to see what happens, and could have ramifications forever in Hollywood. But Warner Brothers going away, and the idea of Warner Brothers going away, a major studio, one of the big studios in Hollywood of all time, is a major possibility, and it's very scary. It includes obviously Cartoon Network, Looney Tunes, all that stuff, and being sold off to all these different people. I really hope somebody buys it, gets Zaslav out, lets everyone else do what they're doing now, like the heads of Warner Brothers and James Gunn and stuff. But we'll see what's gonna happen. But I kind of think it needs to be. I think Apple makes a lot of sense, because then you can just be like, okay, it's not no more HBO Max, it's Apple TV or whatever, and then they can have their Apple stuff because Apple's sort of not that big of a studio, so this would they could just have it run as Warner Brothers under the thing. It sort of makes a lot of sense. So but Netflix, it does not seem as interested and really doesn't want to do theatrical. So but I could see like Apple stores having like Looney Tunes stuff would work really well. And as many people are like, oh well, Apple has to have like everything has to be able to play in an Apple store. But if you have so many things, you can't everything play in an Apple store. So like that, it would help you hit more demos. It would make that year of Apple TV a lot more promising if you have a much better streaming service, as well as like you'd have other properties to sell and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see what the deal is there, but I am curious what is ultimately going to happen with the Netflix. I mean, with the Warner Brothers sale. I think it's going to be very interesting. But the Ellison family very much scares me, how much media they own with Paramount and TikTok, and how they're using their Trump connections and stuff like that. It's scary, but we the fact that they're being so bullish about it kind of makes me think we might have a deal by the end of the year. But the fact that we are just having Paramount, and seems like they keep doing that, but we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. Anyway, all right, sorry. Let's move on. But Jortun says you see Smiling Friends series may conclude with the film. I've heard that. Was that just a rumor? Or is that a real thing, Jortun? Cheers to you, man. Thank you for the super chat. I hope it keeps going. I really like it. I'm not up to date. I might make a short about it. I'd like to do a review of the new season when it's over. But I really love Smiling Friends, so I'd be really disappointed. I mean, maybe eventually. I thought that was sort of like just a loose thing, but I hope not. I love Smiling Friends. All right. I don't see Bloxy Oxtwinkle. I was sort of saving this. But I've got great news, guys. Grown Ups 3, Kevin James has announced Grown Ups 3 is happening. There's a lot of rumors about Grown Ups 3, a franchise I've not seen any movies of. But supposedly in the third one, I know you're excited. Calm down about this huge Kevin James news. In the third one of the kids in the first one is now grown up, even though not enough time has passed based on the average age most people are having children nowadays. But whatever, they are grown up, and now the grown ups are grandparents. How does that work? Anyway, Kevin James is in it, and I know you guys like him, so. So Energon universe is gonna be a show. It's gonna be a show. It's apparently this is a series that Robert Kirkman, he made the comics for his Skybound comics. It is sort of a crossover between Transformers and G.I. Joe. Hasbro has agreed to let him develop it. They do not have a studio at this time to do it, but they don't have a studio to release it, but they are developing it, and the idea is to do more grown-up Transformers G.I. Joe thing. A lot of people are viewing this as a take on the what to do with Transformers after the failure of Transformers 1. And I think it's sort of probably a reaction to, Transformers 1, Transformers not doing as well in theaters, and it's sort of the idea of what happened with comics in the 80s, where they're like, well, these are the people who are into it, so why don't we appeal to them? That's Diana Rodriguez. I do think it could be a cool idea. I know that in the show that followed the Transformers movie, Cobra Commander was in that. I know there's always crossover. I think how do you spell Energon? I think you did it. Hold on, let's see. Energon. Wait, I just had it. Energon. Energon. It does sound like a cool idea. To do that with them, particularly because the Rise of the Beast thing didn't work out. And I think if you make more of a, Robert Kirkman, you can get those people in, and I think it could be like, even the Masters Universe show and stuff like that, where like people are really hyped for his kind of stuff, and I think you could get that fandom there. I'm surprised Prime hasn't not Optimus Prime, Amazon Prime. Sorry, I figured you should do that. But they are looking for a home now. We'll see what's going to happen there. I am really curious what the overall, like, what happens with this, but apparently Hasbro is interested in developing it. I'm curious what we're going to see from them going forward. But that I found that to be interesting. I've heard a lot of people ask about it, what's going to happen with it, and it seems to be a major thing people are looking forward to. So I am curious to see what happens with that. All right, I'll do this first. So I'm gonna say I saw the TV Glow a lot, and Jane Schoenbrun, and I was curious what I think it's I'm not 100% are gonna do next.
I've got hydrogenated super Tiva HS
What?
since I was 14.
What? No, shut up. What was that? Hollywood Reporter's playing an ad? Who was that 14 person? What was that about? Oh my goodness. That was Hollywood Reporter. Sorry. This is audio for the other thing. All right. Sorry. It's they them. Okay, anyway, Jane Schoenbrun is doing the comic book series by Charles Byrne called Black Hole. I've never read it. I've seen it everywhere for a long time. Like it's in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and stuff. I saw people posting memes of that. But I've seen it in comic book stores. I never read it. Apparently it was published between 1995 and 2005. And it's or it's, I guess it's considered a graphic novel, but it's centers on a group of teenagers who contract a sexually transmitted disease that causes them physical mutations. And it haunts a town called Roosevelt. And you'll contact the bug, which will turn into a monster from your worst nightmare. I think a suburban sex trauma thing is perfect for the director of I Saw the TV Glow. It sounds like a perfect project just on that. I would like to read Black Hole. I've never read it, but it sounds really cool. I'm glad they're getting a new big project. Apparently Netflix was bidding for it, so it's actually something that people were interested in. And that's cool. I really love I Saw the TV Glow. I need to see we're all going to the World's Fair thing. But I think this sounds really great. It's going to be a series. I know they were trying to do kind of a YA sort of thing that was sort of the trilogy of the World's Fair. I Saw the TV Glow on that, and they were having trouble doing that. But I'm glad like this big project is happening. So K-pop demons, please. So the Sliming Friends was from an interview today with USA Today's For the Win. I mean, I don't know. Did they mean like after season 2 or after season 3 or 4 or something. I don't know. I'd be curious, Jerkins. But thank you for giving me the updates and thank you for the super chats. Cheer to you, playa. Yeah. Oh, all right. Sorry, that's embarrassing. Okay. But this sounds really cool. I saw the TV Glow. It's one of my favorite movies of the 2010s. So I was excited for that. All right, this next one is a bunch of crap James Gunn said in interviews because he always has to have a thing in movie news every week for some reason. I've noticed if you follow anyone who covers movie news, they're almost like, cool, it's James Gunn. They're talking about James Gunn again. Like I don't think since Superman comes out, I feel like every week I have to mention something he talked about, and it's like I do feel people aren't against him. They're just like, dude, could you like take some time off? Like leave us alone. Anyway, he did a slew of podcast interviews, and he said that Darkseid is not going to be the big villain in his DCU. That makes sense because of the Zack Snyder thing. It also makes sense because I think Darkseid is created by Jack Kirby. Then Thanos is made off of Darkseid or something. And I think it makes sense not to do Darkseid. That makes a lot of sense to me. I know he is sort of the big DC villain, but it'd be nice if DC did something else. But he's real. That will not be the big villain. He didn't say he won't be in it at all. He just said he's not the big villain. We also learned that Clayface, which is in the DC or the James Gunn DCU or whatever it is, was originally conceived for the Matt Reeves Batman universe. I should call this the Gun Club, and just do this is the same the Slop House and the Gun Club. Clayface was originally developed for the Matt Reeves Batman universe, but then they decided it didn't really work, and then it became a DCU thing because they still liked it, even though it doesn't work for it didn't work for the Matt Reeves thing, which is kind of interesting. And they gave updates that Batman Brave and the Bold is still happening. They haven't done much. They're redeveloping stuff. And yes, they're still talking about making a second Batman franchise. There'll be Robert Pattinson Batman franchise and Batman Brave and the Bold and stuff. That is not off the table, apparently, according to him. That could still possibly happen, which is a terrible idea to have two Batman franchises at once. But whatever, they're not giving up on it. So, if anyone does buy Warner Brothers, can you just like not let that happen? Or is Pattinson gonna play him in Brave and the Bold? I just like, God, why? Why are they just do another DC character? You already have a Batman franchise. Just let it go. Batman's its own shit anyway. I just don't. Whatever. Where did I put that? This is sort of the Wicked segment, I guess. This isn't because of Cinerama, it's just to keep it all together. First off, Wicked is actually going to air the movie that came out last year. I'm not joking. I should we're okay on time. Is going to actually air on TV on NBC on November 19th. I actually think, which is crazy. I think that's like the shortest I've heard of a modern movie playing on network TV. But I was curious. They don't like Wizard of Oz used to have a tradition of playing the night before Thanksgiving because usually the night before Thanksgiving, the kids need to stay in the kitchen and mom's trying to do a lot of prep work for Thanksgiving and they need a distraction or something to chill everyone out the night before. And they used to play Wizard of Oz, not necessarily NBC, but a lot of people used to. And so I was like, maybe you actually should have played Wicked the night before Thanksgiving. That would have been great and reminded people of the tradition. But it's airing on the 19th. They're also doing a 2-hour special and stuff. But I'm surprised they're doing that there. And then they also revealed that I separated these two. I don't know why. We learned that Coleman Domingo is the voice of the Cowardly Lion. Supposedly we're going to learn more of the people who are going to be like the Scarecrow and Dorothy as the movie's coming out. I don't know. I don't find it that exciting. I'm like, unless you're getting like, I'm not sure who you could get to be Dorothy. That would really be interesting. Diana Ross. You get Diana Ross again. I noticed very little. I was like, why don't you have Liza Minnelli or like someone from The Wiz or something? That would be interesting. But not as playing them, it just as a cameo. I guess they did have the people who played Wiccan on stage, and that was kind of But yeah, that's what we learned about Wicked. Will probably be a lot of Wicked news coming up. But if you've never seen the Wicked Part 1 or whatever, it's going to be on NBC on the 19th. Which is, it's interesting. That's a cool promotional tactic, I think, to do it. But I am curious, is that the soonest movies from release to network premiere? I don't know. I don't think anyone gives a shit anymore, but I do. In two, well, okay. Guess, sorry, I'm just trying to pace things out here. All right. We learned that from Michael. This is sort of a not a real story, but I wanted to explain it. The writer Michael Waldron, who's also wrote things for the comic book Nova and Marvel stuff, is working on the Chad Powers show with Glenn Powell. When asked if he thought who should play Nova or something like that, he suggested Glenn Powell, and people are acting like that's a real thing. I don't know, although I'm noticing the Chad Powers thing hurt the Glenn Powell industrial complex more than people thought it would. So I don't. He might have to do Nova just for, like, movie star points or something. But that's where that started from. But it's not a very teed up question. So it's sort of a story to have a story. For story's sake, I wouldn't look into it. I'm gonna have some water there. We keep hearing stuff about the Rocky, the biopic about the making of Rocky. It's going to, the guy who, I didn't realize the guy who's playing Stallone actually played Pacino in The Offer, which was I actually really liked that show. It's sort of dorky, but I liked it. Was fun watching it. That was but there's still more talk about that. It's directed by the Farrelly brother who did Green Book, so I'm like not really I'm not super interested in that at all. At all. It sounds horrible. But maybe it'll get me to actually review the original Rocky, which that would be nice. But other than that, I don't have much interest in this. I think I don't like these biopics where, like, I know the backstory so well that, like, there's nothing interesting about it. I wouldn't mind a biopic of, like, something interesting, or, like, I don't know. It's just like, everyone's gonna live, unless you had a really interesting take or interesting director. But I feel the same way about the Bruce Springsteen biopic, and I didn't see the Bob Dylan one because I'm like, I would like people who their stories need to be told a little more, and people don't know it as much, and I don't see that as much. So, whatever. If you saw, I know this. Thank you, Kelly. Uh, if you saw Sabrina Carpenter on SNL, I actually thought that was, like, SNL's been a little rough lately, but she was very good. Her two musical performances I liked a lot, particularly the Man-Child one. And the woman farted. I've watched that sketch a few times because I'm immature. But no, I thought she did a good job, and that show's been a little rough this year. So I don't know. It's a show we watch while we fold clothes. So I'm not the biggest fan, but I end up watching all of them, just through YouTube and stuff. But I thought she did a good job. So we'll see what's happening there. In Mortal Kombat news that I noticed not a lot of people talked about, Mortal Kombat 2 is actually moved up 1 week to May 8th, 2026. So that's good for Mortal Kombat. We also learned the Tim Heidecker, Tatiana Maslany late night themed dark comedy, which is going to be called The Comedy Hour. It's a late night themed dystopian satire from the directorial debut of Colby Day. It's a black comedy set 5 minutes into the future when modern America is on the brink of collapse. Heidecker will play a late night talk show host forced to produce his show through famine, fire, and plague. When the network assigns some robot to be his co-host and help boost ratings, everyone in America loves the robot more than him. That sounds actually kind of cool. So I like that. I know Tim Heidecker wants to do more horror type stuff, and I think that actually sounds really interesting. So I'm down for that. There was a trailer for James L. Brooks, or from Gracie Films, actually has a movie coming out called Ella McCay. Marge Simpson is the voice of Marge Simpson is the narrator. It doesn't. My thing with this is, like, I know James L. Brooks did, like, Terms of Endearment, and he can be a good director. This did not look very good to me. It looked like people were like, my family's so crazy. And, like, in what way? You just, like, talk about them too much? and you're obsessed with them, and they just sort of mildly argue. Like, just like Terms of Endearment had actual things to and interesting characters. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I didn't see his movie James L. Brooks made with like Nicholson and Owen Wilson and Paul Rudd and Reese Witherspoon. So I don't know if like I kind of think like his moments, and also a lot of the people who helped like Polly Platt have died. So I just I don't know, I wasn't super into it, to be honest with you. I'm just like I think I like mid-budget stuff, but there's some mid-budget stuff that I'm a little like maybe there's a reason we don't do that anymore. You know, it's like I think some mid-budget stuff is really good, and other mid-budget stuff I'm like I don't know, like what was the point of this? I don't know. I like certain James L. Brooks movies, but I will say I think he's better at producing The Simpsons sometimes. It was interesting seeing the voice of Marge Simpson lead a movie. I like that part. So if you like that voice, I would say do it. Hello, Al Vasquez. Okay. Let's do the Slop House. My favorite segment where we talk about how do you know? That's it. Thank you. My favorite segment where we talk about AI stuff. So Marty Supreme is going to star Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary, who I actually respect just because he's very open about how much of a total piece of shit he is. Like it's not even like most rich guys on TV are like, oh, maybe he's a piece of shit, but Kevin O'Leary is very open about it. So I do appreciate his honesty and his persona. Like he sucks, but he's very open about it. So you don't need to think he might be your best friend. He won't be. But he's in Marty Supreme, and he said A24 wasted millions of dollars hiring human extras instead of AI. He said, for the sake of art, you should allow it in certain cases. You can't tell the difference. Just put 100 Tilly Norwoods in there, and you're good. No, I think Kevin O'Leary is a horrible person. I just think he's open about it. I just respect his horribleness because he's honest about his horribleness. I don't think he's a good person. The thing with this is one, extras don't make like a ton of money, so I don't know what he's fucking talking about. He's clearly way off here. And second, CGI have actually done most huge crowd scenes for a very long time now. So no, what do you fucking talk about? He's a real total piece of. He covered up a murder. I'm not gonna say I'm not surprised there. But anyway, that was the Slop House where I talk about AI slop and AI news. And Kevin O'Leary had a dumb thing, and people were talking about it. And he clearly doesn't actually know how film production works, but he is in Marty Supreme. So I do know about the Natasha Lyonne is involved in an AI company thing, and they're trying to be like, now she's saying, no, I'm in an ethical AI company, and I'm just like, Natasha Lyonne. Ugh. No, I've heard she is not as cool as people like she's not as great as people think she is, and I think that is going to work. I'm just going to put this as next to the Slop House. There's going to be a Christmas Carol from Ty West with Johnny Depp playing Ebenezer Scrooge. I don't know what Ty West is thinking. I don't want Johnny Depp playing Ebenezer Scrooge. I want to see Willem Dafoe and Robert Eggers. This sounds like a garbage ass idea. Just like, come on, man. Like, and why are we bringing Johnny Depp back? Like, do people? I know there are people who actually sort of like him, but I just find it to be like really pathetic. Like, what a loser. Like, he's not going to do a good Ebenezer Scrooge. Come on. It's just like, he's going to just do like Keith Richards as Ebenezer Scrooge. Ugh. Disappointing. All right. This big study came out, and I almost put it in the announcements for a thing, but there was no way to say it. So apparently, first off, whenever they do these studies, like, what do the teens want? And it's usually like they want less sex in the movies, which I'm like, come on, shut up, kids. I want more sex in the movies. Why I gotta listen to you? But the one. The one part of it is that apparently actually animated content has gone up from 42% last time they did it to 48.5%. Although it is a slim margin, it's a majority who prefer animation. There's only a slim majority who prefer live action content to animation, which is a major turn in which we're seeing with anime. One thing that this study makes me think, and I was thinking, I put out a tweet or skeet or whatever it was today, that I was sort of noticing that what the younger demographics are into, we don't hear as much coverage of that. But it does seem like they're moving in a different way, like what their interests are in terms of, like, let's say anime in particular, what we saw with actual Demon Slayer, not me saying it wrong. But they're not asking 10-year-olds, I don't think. I thought, it's 10 to 24, to be clear, Norbert. But, Bloxy, you missed the Kevin James news. There's going to be a Grown Ups 3, Bloxy. I don't know if you knew this, but this is just me and Bloxy right now. Bloxy, there's going to be a Grown Ups 3. Kevin James has announced it. I had Kevin James news tonight for you. So I'm glad you're here. There's going to be a Grown Ups 3. It's going to be the kids in the original are now grown ups. That doesn't make sense in terms of how people have kids now, but that's what's going on. Anyway, thank you, Bloxy. Thank you for the super chat. Cheers to you. Sorry. I'm glad Bloxy's here. Sorry. Bloxy's the number one Kevin James fan. Come on. I do think the animation news is telling, but I have been thinking a lot about, like, even when I talk about it on here, because I don't feel like there's certain stories about stuff. But it does feel like the entertainment news thing even is very much blood tea, Jesus. I don't know. It does feel like I'm not hearing as much about like Chainsaw Man or Demon Slayer or any of these things. I'm hearing about like failure of Star Wars, and I'm kind of curious, like, should there be a more reinvesting of entertainment media to actually show like what people are actually interested in? Maybe that's like a whole problem with this whole thing, if we're being honest. You know what I mean? It just feels like, anyway. But it is the less sex thing. I'm like, what sex? There's really not. I haven't seen a really big sex scene in a movie in a long time, so I'm a little confused about that. In general, I do think since pornography is so easy to get now, sex scenes do not hold the same prevalence in society. But I was like, man, I don't mind. I kind of like it when I think it's cool. So I don't know, but we'll see. The two things is, one, Treehouse of Horror had really good ratings this year because in the last 2 years, it said it was the best in 2 years, and the caveat on that is the other 2 years it aired in November. So fuck yeah, it had better ratings. I'm always like, you control the episode order. Why is it always coming out? Like, change the episode order. I don't understand. It's just like you just want this for the syndication and the streaming thing. Like, I don't understand why they do that, but apparently it did a lot better. I actually watched it. We sat around and watched it on TV. You'll find out when I do like to review the latest Treehouse of Horror and the other one. And then the trailer for the Me TV Toons, I guess it's Terry Toons block, did show clips from the Ralph Bakshi, The New Adventures of Mighty Mouse. I am curious, because that's just like a show. They're not playing isolated cartoons from that. I'm curious how they're going to do that, but I'm not going to see that when it premieres, because I know I'm doing something. But I'll watch it eventually. Maybe there's Sundays where it rains a lot. All right, this is the box office. This is just the box office segment. I'm sorry it's so late, and then we'll take a break and then all that stuff. All right, so box office, Black Phone 2. I've actually not seen any of the Black Phone movies, and I see it's free on Fandango at home, so maybe I should check it out. Because I didn't see, I don't know why I missed it. But the second Black Phone, where Ethan Hawke plays the grabber or something, actually did better than expected with $27 million. It's better than expectations. And it's actually, this I found interesting. Even though we are in a hard time and horror's doing very well, Blumhouse has not had a good opening since Five Nights at Freddy's 2 years ago. This is the highest opening they've had since the first Five Nights at Freddy's, which you wouldn't think that. You would think, wait, what? But Megan 2 bombed. They haven't actually had a lot of success despite the box office time we live in. So that was actually interesting to learn that. Also, Ethan Hawke, who is the grabber, had a smaller movie come out at the same time. I think there's only 2 Black Phones. There better be, because anyway, Ethan Hawke had a smaller movie come out called Blue Moon on the same weekend. That opened on only 5 theaters. But Black Phone actually did pretty well. Trot Aries fell a spooky, this is not a joke. I know it's Halloween, this is not a joke. Halloween fell a spooky 66.6%. Ooh, for Halloween. No, but it really did. It's not doing very well. It's actually really concerning. It's in the most theaters in the whole top 10. And it made less than half of what Black Phone did. For a per screen average of it's actually not that bad. It's not that good, but 66. 66.6%. Ooh. Jared Leto. Alright. Spooky. Disney's money is not working out. Alright, sorry. Good Fortune opened in third. Not great, but some people are saying it's not that bad, but I don't think it's that good. With 6 million. I mean, I think Good Fortune kind of fell off. One Battle After Another is Even the Hawk isn't scary. Okay, maybe I'll check out the first Black Phone. I'm curious. I'm like, any recent gaps I should do. I'm going in and out of focus a lot. I thought I fixed that. Oh well. Okay, I'll have to look at that again. Some of these settings. Yeah, I know. Oh, it is doing the thing again. Fuck. No, you think you fixed something. Alright, One Battle After Another is holding on in the top 5, which is really good, although it's falling. It only means about 3 million. After the Hunt really opened badly. It opened in 9th. Even though it opened in a ton more theaters, it did not work out. The reviews were not with After the Hunt. Demon Slayer left the top 10. It had 5 weeks in the top 10, which is really impressive for anime. That really never happens. And Smashing Machine lost so many theaters, it's actually out of wide release. Because I think wide release is considered over 1,000 theaters, and it is now at 819. The box office is really not doing very well at all. Oh man, Daybreakers was cool. I remember that. Daybreakers. Sorry. The box office is not doing very well. It's actually lower than it was in 2024, which is not good. October was really rough. September, we had like The Conjuring 3, The Conjuring 4, whatever the Conjuring movie it was, and Demon Slayer, and people were like, oh my god, the box, I can't believe this in September. September has really come back the last couple of years with Beetlejuice 2, and that October is a real shit show, and it really was bad. This next weekend with maybe Chainsaw Man and the Bruce Springsteen movie and stuff, I think this October weekend could sort of work out, but we'll see. But it has not been good at all. I did learn from Dan Murrell. I'll say I watched the Dan Murrell box office show. He does a good box office show. He said I learned that this year we had 3 movies enter the top 10 highest grossing R-rated horror movies of all time. That would be Sinners, The Conjuring Last Rites, and Weapons. And I'm curious, can anyone guess what the highest grossing R-rated domestic horror movie is, like in America? If anyone could, I'd be actually curious. But they're expecting a bigger weekend. I'm going to say this about Shelby Oaks. I have not heard good things, and I'm not trying to be a hater, but almost every critic I follow was trying to be nice, and yeah, they're like, it is not good. Like, people were pretty much like, look, this sucks. Like, I was like, whoa. I'm not a Stuckman guy at all, so it's probably going to be no, it's not Final Destination. I'm not a Stuckman guy really, so it's going to be interesting. I am going to see it. I'm going to try to do it. I want to do a double feature with Cornbread, You Are Close, but it is not chapter 2. But it's I don't know. Sinram got it. It's chapter 1. Some things I learned recently. There is George Romero's daughter is making a film. It released a film called Queen of the Dead, which is about zombies coming in a Brooklyn drag show. That actually sounds cool. And I learned, and I thought this was interesting, SpongeBob is in the top 10 Nielsen streaming shows, which actually surprised me because it's on Paramount Plus. And I don't know anyone who does that, but I have noticed when people do watch SpongeBob on Paramount Plus, they watch a lot of them. So, yeah. And the last thing before I get Obits, I'm not sure if I should get MoviePass. I'm sort of thinking about it because it'd be a lot easier with my life if I did. I don't know. I might go back because I have Regal and it's like I only really have access to like 4 or 5 theaters and it's like the showtimeness of it all. So I don't know. I think sort of thinking about it. So all right. If let's do the Obits, the one Obit, and then we'll take a break. Klaus Dollinger, who did the scores for Neverending Story and Das Boot and was a jazz musician, I believe, or a musician himself, died this past week. I think those are 2 pretty iconic scores, particularly Neverending Story, and it is sad to see him go. Something that really, I think, is very much in the pop culture landscape there. Oh, I forgot to talk about a movie there before we go. The one movie I wanted to talk about. Sorry. This is not a transition. There's this movie called Fuck My Son, which is a I've heard it's like it can be John Waters type thing. I would like to see. That's another reason I need to do MoviePass because Regal doesn't have everything. So maybe, but it sounds interesting. A couple of people have messaged me about it. I haven't watched any trailers for it, so I really need to do that. Sorry, that was right after that guy, and that's weird. Anyway, all right, I am going to take a break. Then we're going to do Garfield. Garfield Halloween Adventure, and then do questions, and that'll be it. If you want to do super chats, how do I know about this? You watched it? What, the trailer? I didn't watch the trailer. I just know about it. Austin. Don't blame me. I don't know. I just heard it was cool. I don't know. But I did I missed the not Demon Hunt, the one that the Psycho Gorman guy. It was not, I don't know. I should see if MoviePass does the weird theaters. That's what I really got to do. But anyway, I haven't watched the trailer. Austin, don't just do what I say right away. I didn't do that yet. Oh, poor Austin. I hope he's okay. All right. All right. I'm going to take a break. If you'd like to do a super chat, we are not really close to $20. I have to ask. I'm sorry, guys. But if you would like to, let me, please do that. I will take a break, and then we'll talk about Garfield. I didn't see Frankie Frico either. That one I need to do. But yeah, it would be appreciated if you can before the end of the show. But if not, it's cool. Thank you for being here. I'm going to. He says he's good. He's shaking. He's shaking in the corner of the fetal position. I'm going to take a break. I will be right back. And then we'll finish up the show and talk about Garfield. All right, cool. Be right back. Okay, hello. Welcome back. How's it going, everyone? Thank you all for being here. Yeah, this is the last half hour of the show here. And then we'll talk about Garfield. Yeah, I guess it looks like the settings are right or something. Also, that's obnoxious. I really should have. Whatever. I'm gonna take some of this energy drink because I need the energy. Apologies. Well, I learned recently that Blue Oyster Cult, they had their song Godzilla, and then they did, when their song wasn't in the '98 Godzilla, they wrote a song called Nozilla. So I guess they thought they should be in the thing. Fiona and Kate crossover with Flapjack was considered. I'm into that. Thank you very much, Short Tunes. Cheers to you. Thank you. Oh, that's interesting. What was I gonna say? Anyway, I found that to be interesting. Yes, so I guess the deal with this is basically I wanted to review this. Maybe I should have done a music video or something. But we'll see. I'm not sure if this will come up before Halloween because I do want to do Hell's Bells. Because I'm gonna do the other Soul Symphonies based on seasons. So there's a possibility you won't see this for a year. So I'll like cut up and with the clips and all that shit. So that is if that happens, then you'll know why that is. So just so you all know. Anyway. I mean, if Flapjack, I would like Flapjack to come back. I really like Flapjack. Flapjack was really the like forebear. It was like the thing that all the people came from. It's like kind of like the right before of the 2010s Cartoon Network animation boom. It's kind of crazy. If you know, it's like it really deserves more respect. No, I think it was considered but didn't happen. So it's not a spoiler, Austin. It's not a spoiler if it doesn't happen. But I guess this is a spoiler that it didn't happen. Does that make sense? Like if you know it didn't happen, I guess that does spoil it for you. But did you think that was gonna? I guess now you'll watch it know that Flapjack is not going to show up. So spoiler in that regard. All right. So if I get this out though, I wouldn't mind. I realize Garfield is a Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas special. I could review all three, but we'll see. I don't know about that. I don't know the Thanksgiving one at all, so we'll see. All right, let's talk about this. So, actually, you know what? I need to have this up so I say it correctly or time-wise correctly. Okay. Today, I'm going to talk about Garfield's Halloween Adventure, which was originally titled Garfield in Disguise, a 1985 animated special. It is the fourth Garfield special to air. I believe this is before Garfield and Friends started. This is the fourth of 12 Garfield television specials that aired between 1982 and 1991, in which case I guess they just stopped doing that. So most people my age who talk about this talk about how when they were a kid and all these things happen and then you had you were scared by it. I did not see this as a kid. I time wise I feel like I probably did, but I have no memory of it. And I saw it as an adult when people were like, oh man, that Garfield Halloween special is actually really scary. And I go, oh, okay. And I saw it on YouTube and I watched it. But to be honest with you, I remember the Christmas special a lot. I've seen that one a lot of times when I was a kid. This one, if I saw it, I don't remember it. Maybe I was so terrified I blocked it out, or I didn't actually see it. I saw a lot of those as a kid, so there's a possibility. But I noticed anyone my age was like, oh, and I watched it, and I have the Angry Video Game Nerd was like, oh, I read the comic and it was different. So I don't know about that. So I actually only saw this as an adult. However, anyway, this was written by Jim Davis, directed by Philip Roman. It's actually the third Emmy Garfield won in a row. He won for the previous two specials and this one. They're not all holiday specials necessarily. I wouldn't mind reviewing the other ones if there's another Garfield movie or something. But anyway, this is sort of an interesting one because there's sort of two parts of the special. There's the actual Garfield learns about Halloween, goes trick-or-treating, and then there's all the stuff with the pirates is actually scary and probably the more interesting part of the special. But it starts off, Garfield gets woken up by Binky the Clown and learns that there is a holiday where you get candy, and is really into trick-or-treating now because he knows about this. Which means, if you know what I'm talking about here, is that Garfield knew about Monday and knew he hated Monday. Like Garfield's life. He's a couple years old at this point, even in these specials, right? He's a couple years old. He's well aware of Mondays. And then suddenly, years in, he learns about Halloween. What was going on those first couple years? Like, how old is Garfield in this? Can you imagine? You know about Mondays, but you don't know about Halloween? Like that, ugh. That sounds horrible. So I get why Garfield's cranky and like that now. Because, like, can you imagine living several years of your life and knowing the boredom of Mondays but not knowing Halloween? That's just like pretty horrible. So, oh, William Ullman, oh, with a really generous super chat, man. Thank you very much. Cheers to you, man. Sorry, I should have read your thing. I may be lazy, I may be fat, I don't do laps, and I do not chat. I may be selfish, and all that, but one thing I'm not is a scaredy cat. I think that is in the special. Didn't Lou Rawls sing that? Thank you very much, man. I believe that takes us over the $20 thing, but I'm gonna wait to the questions part. But thank you very much, man. I believe that's what Lou Rawls said. I just watched it today. That does sound very familiar. But anyway, as he does sing this scaredy cat thing. Thank you. That's very nice of you. But yeah, so before this, Garfield decides to go on trick-or-treating. He comes out with costumes with Odie. They go trick-or-treating. His idea is that he can, if he takes Odie, he can get twice the candy. Because Garfield is a nice guy and stuff. He goes trick-or-treating. There's a nice section. There's a nice section where he goes trick-or-treating. He takes off people's masks. The one guy has the same face as the mask. Some, the ghost person has scared stuff behind. But then I think the main thing, and I've always remembered, I actually forgot how much of it is the trick-or-treating stuff, is he decides after he's done, he finds a boat, and he gets on the boat and decides if he gets the other side of the lake or whatever, he can go to those houses and trick-or-treat, not thinking that there were probably other kids on the other side of the, like, he doesn't think like, oh, these trick-or-treaters won't go to him. I'm like, yes, but then you have other trick-or-treaters logic-wise, but whatever, Garfield. So he gets on this boat and goes to this house. They lose their oars. And generally, like, it stops being like, oh, silly trick-or-treat thing and stuff like that, and just becomes fucking scary. They go into this, they just go into this house. There's this old guy there who's in a different animation style, which I actually think makes it more surprising and scary. Like, animation-wise, especially then, like now we sort of do, because of Spider-Verse and other stuff, or Gumball, or, you have different animation styles. It's a little more expected. In the 80s, they didn't do that. Everyone was in, Ruby Spears and Hanna-Barbera. Those guys, you were lucky if you got an arm to move. In this one, it's not a joke really. In this one, sorry. In this, the old guy is like is in a completely different animation style. So it's already like off. It doesn't feel right. He's not in the thing, and he's spooky and is this old guy voice, but it moves. The movement's different. It's very spooky. And then he tells this whole story about the pirates, and they're going to come back on Halloween night at midnight, which always feels like a scary time. But if you've ever been awake on Halloween night at midnight, it's usually like it's really quiet, and I'm just watching horror movies drunk. But and I'm half asleep on the couch, so I don't know if that's spooky. But oh no, I might fall asleep watching Halloween for the 50th time. No, but then, sorry, then, then, sorry, then the ghost, the old guy steals their boat, leaves mysteriously, steals their boats. They're trapped, and then a ghost ship shows up, and the ghosts are in a different animation style as well. So the animation, like, if you're accustomed to like everything being the same in a special, if you're an 80s kid, that is terrifying because it is unexpected. And part of horror, and I mention this all the time, is the unexplained. And it is unexplained. Why would the animation style change suddenly? And they're trying to swim back, and Garfield can't swim. It's really kind of spooky. I was actually surprised. I would show this to my kids, but I'm like, I actually think they would get freaked out by this. It is actually it really does try to be scary. Garfield does get back. I know it's a different thing in the comic, as I've heard from people. I didn't read it, so, or the book. It was really a book or whatever. It's like what's going here, and the old guy is telling a story to a dog and a cat who can't speak, so he's obviously crazy. That is actually a good point, but it does have this sort of unhinged quality. It's also like you're lost on Halloween night in the dark, and you hear a story about pirate treasure and ghosts. It's really scary, and it's very different from typical Garfield sensibilities. And like, I reviewed the first Garfield special and this the fourth one, and there is a sense of like, this is Garfield. This is Garfield to a point, and then like, let's just change it all. I actually think artistically, that's a really interesting idea, and I really actually like what they did there. I've always kind of respected this special. I don't know if it's not a tradition I grew up with. I think the Charlie Brown one is nice because, and the Treehouse of Horror are kind of the things we personally do. I do think this deserves in the pantheon of great Halloween specials. I know some people, like the AV Club did a thing, and they think it is just as is just as good as that one. I don't necessarily agree, and I don't think it's like as pop cultural relevant, although it did air with the Charlie Brown Halloween special for a long time, up until 1999. They don't air it as regularly. I think it wouldn't be fine to re-air it. I like the Lou Rawls songs in it. Lou Rawls does all the singing in this. It is probably one of the more memorable Garfield specials because they really went on a limb here. I think the ones I grew up with, like the Christmas one, are a little more ordinary and such. This one is not. It really tries to be unusual and spooky in a way that a lot of kids' Halloween specials don't normally do. But maybe I think part of it is this isn't just a kid's thing. It's a thing that aired in prime time. It was for everyone, and everyone can get scared and be freaked out by pirate ghosts. And I think like that really worked for it. So I understand why it won the Emmy, because it's actually pretty good. It actually tried to do something different and interesting, and I really appreciate that for Garfield's Halloween. I think it actually I actually think it's actually a really good special, and I like that it like kind of tried to mess with the animation to unsettle you, and I think that's actually a very pretty interesting thing. It shows you something as a filmmaker who sometimes, if you do something completely different and weird, in terms of horror, you can really freak people out. And having a crazy old guy in a house telling you the story of ghosts on Halloween can, give you more goosebumps than you necessarily expect. That's midnight right now. All right. I'm going to do the thing. Thank you to everyone for the super chats tonight. I really appreciate it. I'm glad I got this from this is like the highlight. I'm going to be honest, because I think I shot either the Tron Ares review or a different review, and I had to like do the fade thing didn't work as well, and I was disappointed in myself. All right, I'm going to write questions below. What would Garfield do with pirate treasure by people? I think he wanted to get out of there. I don't think he wanted that thing. All right, let's in the comic, Odie takes some, apparently. I kind of didn't want to do the comic because I'm like, I am literally just bringing up what Angry Video Games said, because I don't have it. I do actually have the book, or the thing is about those Garfield books, and I'll save it when I might do the Christmas one this year. I might just do that as a proper review because I have a lot of nostalgia for that one. They're formatted like the Garfield collections. So I guess so you'd be in that part of the store and stuff. So I used to like Garfield. I haven't read Garfield one. I like Quentin Review's one. Did Quentin Reviews hate the Garfield special? I'm actually kind of curious about that. That would suck if he did because it was pretty good. All right. Ooh. Sorry about that. Okay, first, let's do Jordan Bouchard asks, Patreon question, go first. Are there any cooking shows you've watched over the years, such as Gordon Ramsay shows, Guy Fieri, or the Great British Baking Show that you've enjoyed? No, I don't actually like cooking shows. In fact, when I cook, I literally just put on headphones and don't talk. And I'm sure if anyone filmed me, it'd be boring. Yeah, I actually heard there's an episode of, I've heard from a few people over the years, there's an episode of the Paris Hilton cooking show that is interesting when her mom and sister shows up and she goes like nonverbal for a little bit. And it was like the most relatable. Someone told me that once, and I heard that in an actual review of something, like they brought it up and it's like considered like the most relatable thing she ever did. So I don't know why Paris Hilton came up twice, but and I've heard there's other, like there's a spookier cooking show with like puppets that Netflix did, but I'm not a cooking. My wife sometimes watch like cooking stuff, but I don't really like cooking shows. It's not really my thing. I do like to cook. I enjoy to cook actually, but it's just not my thing necessarily. Sorry. I'm not a like what's it called? Like Discovery Channel person, I think. Okay, Austin says or that kind of, you know what I mean? That kind of, I guess my kids watch Is It Cake? That seems to be the problem I've seen the most. But it's usually like, I think one time I did all this like physical stuff all day and I was really tired, and Sophie's like, "Can I watch Is It Cake?" And I was like, "Sure." And I just like laid there exhausted, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I watched like way too much of this with her." I let her watch all these. So I guess that is probably Is It Cake, which is like an actual kid show. It's like, and Mikey Day's in it, and he's like fucking obnoxious. Oh, holy no, that's a good. I'm gonna think about that one. Well, that's a good question. All right. Austin asks, "Hey Jim, what a great show. My question for tonight is, I came to the conclusion that Tron, more a vibe movie. You watch it for the visuals and music rather than the story. What would you, what would be good examples of vibe movies?" Oh, that's a good question. Alphabet City. It is not a good movie. I love the soundtrack, which you can't actually get. Nile Rodgers is the soundtrack. It's an amazing early hip hop soundtrack. The movie sucks, but I love it. I love watching it. I love the vibe of it. It's Alphabet City, New York in the 80s. It's absolutely wonderful. There's certain vibe movies that are good movies, like Warriors, I like the vibe of it. Drive, but I would say Alphabet City is my number one in that. Because I will watch it anytime I can. Anytime I'm in the mood, I've watched it a lot of times. I don't think it's very good, but I love the score and I love like the cinematography in it. I'm sure there's others, but I will say Alphabet City. I'm a big fan. And I will find the few clips on YouTube and play them. But man, if I there's someone I've met who knows Nile Rodgers, and I've long been like, could you just ask him to release that soundtrack? It is like I love that soundtrack so much. You have no idea how often I'll do that. All right. Cornbread. I mean, man, overrated Mystery Science Theater episode. I'm gonna have to think. Huh. I'm gonna hold on. I'll come back to it. Sorry, that's a thinker. I want to have a good answer for that. All right, sorry. Cornbread. Why should I give a shit about Shelby Oaks? Shelby Oaks? You kidding me? Come on. Unless it's Shelby the worm inside Jake's viola, and he says, "Check, please. I don't want fuck bush seat." What is going? What? Holy shit. I am noticing a real backlash to Shelby Oaks, which I expected. Actually, it could have been I expected people to go hard on it. So I've heard he's a little upset about that. That's rare, but also like, if I was him, I would have been like, this is not going to go well for me. There's a lot of YouTube people who can tell their views and hating it. You know, it didn't matter. But anyway, Austin said, "Did you know Tubi has ties to Fox Network? or possibly real Fox. I am aware of the Tubi ties to Fox, which I don't love, but I don't know, my son like knows when it goes Tubi. My son has that memorized because he watched Scooby Doo, and he's been really wanting to watch the GoBots because he saw clips of it on MeTV Toons, but it airs on MeTV Toons at like 2 in the morning. So obviously, I'm not letting him stay up or wake him up at 2 in the morning. But it's on Tubi, Challenge of the GoBots. So we're gonna watch it sometime soon, and I know he's excited. But yeah, I am aware of that. It's unfortunate because I'm always like joking about Tubi, but it is like owned by the Murdochs, which is horrible to be honest. Who is your favorite K-pop demon slayer? Uh, Vampire Hunter D. Okay, the comic. Who are you, Quentin? Go to a lame. Wow. Okay. Did he really hate the Garfield? That would be really just. I actually like him, but if I found that, I would actually lose some respect. Not that I love it that much, but okay. Question. So after one dollhouse after another, the smashing good boy, Trooper Man Aries, and the Black Fortune 2, are you going to regretting Oaks? Regretting what? What's the regretting thing? I don't actually understand that. But for me, it would be Chainsaw Oaks because that's what I'm doing. All right, hope. Let's see. Who knows with this life? Embla T, you think Frankenstein was wrong for disowning his monster? I mean, yeah, you can't do that. That's fucked up. Medela Butterfly, what comic character needs a Halloween special? Oh, that's a good one. There's not a Ghost Rider one. What's up with that? Come on. If you actually do something with Blade, I wouldn't even mind if it's Halloween special. Just do something. Do something with Blade's challenge, Marvel. Seriously, I don't. Anyway, I know everyone said it, but like you could just do that. We'd be happy. Come on. Zane Powers, how come it's not okay for immigrants to take our jobs, but AI can? Well, because AI is owned by the rich. Super Kirby dude, worst movie theater experience. Huh. I saw Conjuring 2 with a lot of loud kids, but I was able to get through that. I would probably say I don't think it was the worst, but I could get through it because I can sort of just get into the vibe. And as I've said before, I don't really leave movies because I really like sitting down. There is this theater in Maryland that doesn't exist anymore, and I'm not sure who was the person who would ask me about Maryland theaters. It was in like Timonium, and their projectionist was literally the fucking worst. And like he would move the frame would be up, so you get like half the frame. Sometimes they were not very good, and that would probably be. And I saw them do it with the South Park movie. Not with Star Wars Episode 1. No one was in the theater, but like anytime it was like a big new release, they'd always sort of like fuck it up somehow. Not yeah, that maybe I'll give it because they're closed too, so it really doesn't matter. But I'd say that one. Where are we? Oh, where's okay? Let's. Okay, question, George Hins. What Criterion Collection films do you own, if any? I do own The Third Man, which I think is rare. I own Blowout. I own the Godzilla box set. I have the Bruce Lee box set, which I've been saying I'm going to do a series on at some point. I don't know when. We have the Royal Tenenbaums. I forget what else, but I know those. There might be others. I haven't really gotten one in a while because I don't get as much physical media as I used to. But definitely those. Oh, the Beastie Boys. That's my favorite one. The Beastie Boys Criterion Collection, because you can pick remixes and different. That's like the best one. The Beastie Boys music video Criterion Collection. That is my favorite by far. No, wait. Sorry. No, wait. Where are we? Sorry. Embla T, is Kevin James the true good Frankenstein? You know what? We watched this a lot, so he was in this household. He probably is the Frankenstein. Al Vasquez, what instrument would you play every time Disney gets a flop? A trombone? That's pretty good. Sinram, it was only just posted today, but did you see the Thor Hulk Catwoman trailer. I think it was Crime 101. I did not. It was a busy day. I was trying to stick to it, but I did not see it, but I'm aware it happened, but I should watch it, so I apologize. But that'll be Jim Mallon and Crime 101 next week. Embla T, if Paramount buys Warner's, what would be the fate of Monster Trucks? Monster Trucks would be sold wholesale to Tubi, and there'd be a whole suit. It would be like the Air Buddies movies, probably. What Halloween cartoon specials do you remember enjoying, George Tunes? That's a good question. I do remember the Charlie Brown one. Treehouse of Horror, which I've talked about. As a kid, I think it was just Charlie Brown and maybe just like random ones, like Ghostbusters was so big. I should probably do a Ghostbusters one. Okay, William Ellman. In your opinion, what is the most overrated Mystery Science Theater episode? Overrated. That's a good question. I actually watched the Deathstalker one, and I didn't think, other than the Renaissance Fair sketch, I didn't think that was as good as I remembered. So I'm tempted to say that one because I just saw it. However, most of the major, I don't know, the one thing about that show I've noticed is, other than like Manos and Mitchell, there's not a universal list as much as most fandoms, so that makes it a little trickier. I'm trying. Sometimes I think the movie is overrated, and I am actually gonna. I plan on reviewing the movie for its 30th anniversary next year. Maybe that one. See, this is like a question I could go on about. I could literally do an hour video on most overrated Mystery Science Theater episode. Trying to think. Maybe the Rosdower one. I like it, but I think Hobgoblins to me is amazing. But yeah, what's the Rosdower one? I think that one might be. I don't think I would rank that as high as most people. I'm gonna go with that one. What is the Rosdower one? God damn it! I can, because I always see people reference it, and I'm like, oh, that one was it. Rosdower MST 3K. What was that? Zap Rosdower. What is that? The Final Sacrifice. You know what? I'm gonna go Final Sacrifice. I like it, but it's not. I never rewatch it, but I hear it referenced. I'm in all these groups and everything, and so I'm gonna say. Actually, I will say that one. I will say that. I think Hobgoblins should be where that one is, episode wise. If you're asking me, I hope. I feel like someone's gonna like, God damn, that one. I feel like that's gonna be surprising to people. I don't know. Wait, where am I? Oh my god. Okay, Al Vasquez. First failure. Will you tell Chris Suckman he'll never eat lunch in this town again? I mean, yeah, maybe. Do you think Tubi is still good after so many years? We watch it a lot. I use it quite free. I was trying to watch this movie called like Baby Assassins, but I was too tired to really pay attention, so that's why I switched to I Know What You Did Last Summer, so I could fall asleep during it. Did you ever watch the Phantom cartoon? Oh, like Phantom, like the purple guy? Yeah, I think I did as a kid, actually. Or during that combination where it was like Mandrake and all that. I think so. Same Powers, how do you feel about stories that take a character we barely saw, giving them a sympathetic trait or reason to live, only to make you invested and immediately kill them off in the next scene? I mean, it's cheap, but I'm okay with it. It's cheap. Question, where does that annoying guy in Aqua Teen movie rank in bad theater experience? He's up there. That guy, oh my god. I wonder what happened to him. I probably ended up working with him or something. Or someone stabbed him and no one ever found him because they put him in that dumpster in Union Square, then no one ever looks at him. Doesn't matter, he's fine. Al Vasquez, which Wes Anderson movie should get a Fortnite skin? Darjeeling Limited, definitely. Which I don't like as much as, I don't know. I like him kind of now, but I miss some of them. And anyway, I'm really, the ones I see and don't. I notice like people aren't as into them, and then there's always someone I know go, well, I think it's one of the best ones. And I'm like, why? And they never explain. They're always like very defiant. I'm like, okay, I don't, whatever, fine. Cornbread says, so like everyone heard that Del Toro Phantom of the Opera thing, but they're overlooking him saying, but not anytime soon. I would do crime and stop motion. I want to do crime and stop motion. Does crime stop motion not excite? I think does excite, but yeah, I've noticed like him doing adaptation because he did Pinocchio and Frankenstein. People think that, but I don't really understand that one. Is James L. Brooks and Albert Brooks related? You're thirsty? Okay, good. Here, let me get you some. Hold on, guys. We'll finish the questions. Oskar woke up and is thirsty. Hold on. We're getting a lot of cameos in there, guys. Hold on. I'm going to mute this for a second. I'll be right back. Sorry. Sometimes kids wake up and want to drink water. Is James L. Brooks and Al Brooks related? To my understanding, no. Do you think Cornbread could be Dorothy in Wicked 2? I mean, we don't know who Cornbread is, so it could be possible. Super Kirby Dude, worst pizza in Brooklyn. There's some Papa John's, so I'm gonna say that one. Did I skip over questions? I thought I did. I didn't think I did. Hold on. Let me go through this and then we'll go back. Do you miss nerd culture was depicted exclusively as loser virgin nerds who live in their parents' basement? I do sort of miss it being a smaller thing. So in a way, yes. What's your cholesterol level? Who's that? Zane Byers, of course. I don't know, but it's probably not good. Embla T, you think Die My Love is the Oscar season movie that would do better than Smashing It After the Hunt? I don't know. Oh yeah, actually, maybe. Did I skip over questions? Okay, I don't know. What if the annoying guy at the Aquatine movie went on to become Tommy G? Ooh, I like that origin story. Interesting. Question: are Michael Jordan and Michael B. Jordan related? No, apparently not. Oh, good night, Manila Butterfly. Did I miss any? Oh, Zoidberg said, "Do you think there's beer on the sun?" If I did, I wouldn't. If there was, I wouldn't drink it. Did I miss questions? Oh, I think I might have cornbread. Oh, wait, I did miss some. Hold on. What do you think is worse? Someone who's awful and didn't realize it, or someone who is awful but acknowledges it? Does knowing you're an asshole lessen? It doesn't lessen it, but it's easier to deal with. How can I grow a beard like yours? Just go like this a lot, and it works out. What got you into films? May have asked in past. I just got in, I think, through Star Wars, to be honest with you. I believe so. Cornbread, I said in the Discord, I wish the worst for everyone who spends their New Year's watching Stranger Things in theaters. Go ring a bell for 2 hours instead. That's more respectful. Was I too mean? No, that's fine. Also, did I say about the bell make any sense? I understand what the bell thing was. Zane Power says, does it feel like no matter how much Disney fails, it doesn't make a difference? So does this mean Bob Iger has immunity from his actions? In a way, it does, yes. Embla T says, have you seen either of the Joe G. Alvison Rocky Karate Kid dramas, Joe or Save the Tiger? No, I actually haven't. I've only seen his Rocky and Karate Kid stuff. Okay, I think I got everyone there. Sorry about that. Jim is Play-Doh Man? I don't understand that. Okay. What's your favorite candy? I like kind of peanut butter ones, so I'd say that. Okay, did I get everyone? I think I did. If I did not, please post in the comments. Don't take it as a personal thing. It's been a long day and I'm tired at this point. Thank you for mentioning that cornbread that I skipped over some. I hope I got everyone. If I missed some, please write it below in the comments. I will get to you. I'm curious if Sidram did this timestamp thing, but thank you for doing it, man. Special shout out to you. Let's do a shout out to all the everyone who gave a super chat tonight. That would be Austin, William Elman, Jortunes, Bloxiax and Winkle, Jortunes, and William Elman. Thank you all very much, and cheers to all of you there. For my playa vibe, I guess I had that tonight. Thank you all very much for being here. Oh, I see what you meant, Cornbread. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Thank you very much. I think there'll be a video tomorrow. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good pre-Halloween weekend. See some cool horror movies, see some cool stuff, enjoy the videos that are coming out, whatever the throwback is tomorrow, and all that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being here, and subscribe if you would like to. All right, cool. And I will see you later, and have a good night. Peace.